Hi everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Patty. Well, it's another gorgeous weekend here in New England, so I want to take you with me to a family orchard in Heinsberg, Vermont. So we are going to go to the Yates Family Orchard. It is an apple orchard, but so much more. So I'd like to take you with me to that orchard. And then I think we'll come back here and I'd like to do a little bit of fall baking. I have my eye on a recipe for pumpkin squares with cream cheese frosting. I am a big fan of bars and squares because they travel well. And as an empty nester here, I like to bake, but I don't like to have the baked goods in the house. So bars travel really well. I can enjoy one, my husband can enjoy one, and then I think we're gonna pack these up and either bring them to our daughter to enjoy with her sorority housemates, or maybe we'll just give them to some of our neighbors. But either way, I do love a good bar because of that portability factor. You can eat them with your hands. You don't need a plate and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping to get that done today. That's a lot on tap. If we have time, I'm hoping to stop at Gardener's Supply in Williston, Vermont to look at their mums and pumpkins. It is just now starting to turn a little bit cooler, so I can start to look and enjoy those things. So that is a busy day on tap. We need to get started. Let's go ahead and get in the car and head out to the Yates Orchard in Heinsberg, Vermont.
Today we're heading to the Yates Family Orchard in Heinsberg, Vermont, a spot that perfectly captures the magic of fall in New England. This gorgeous orchard is tucked into the hills with sweeping views of the mountains, especially stunning this time of year when the foliage, in this case, is just starting but going to approach peak shortly. As soon as you arrive, the air is filled with the scent of apples and, you guessed it, a cider donuts. And you just know that you're in for a cozy day. We started with apple picking, walking through the rows of trees. We are big Macintosh people, so we found the Macintosh trees and filled our bag in no time. There was something so grounding about being out here. The sound of the leaves crunching underfoot, the beautiful sun beating down on us, and the slight breeze. But of course, the best was finding that perfect apple right from the branch. What makes Yates really special is that it's actually more than just an orchard. It's a community gathering place. On the weekends, which is when we were there, they host live music right in the orchard. So while you're sipping cider or munching on donuts, you can listen to local musicians playing everything from folk to bluegrass. It adds such a festive, relaxed vibe. They also offer yoga sessions in the orchard. So imagine unrolling your mat between the apple trees, breathing deeply with the mountains as your backdrop. It's such a unique and peaceful way to soak in Vermont's fall beauty. And of course, the farm stand is a must. Cider donuts are legendary, warm, soft, and coated with cinnamon sugar. You can pair that with fresh pressed cider, and it honestly tastes like autumn in a cup. You will also find local maple syrup, jams, and other Vermont-made treats to take home. Yates Family Orchard is one of those places that feels welcoming and down to earth, whether you're here for apple picking, yoga, live music, or simply the scenery. It's a place that makes fall feel extra special. As we left with our apples, I couldn't help but think this is exactly what makes Vermont autumn so magical. And if you go, be sure to climb the stairs to the upper deck, where you will find the most gorgeous views, pleasant seating, a perfect place to curl up with a book, coffee, a cider, ice cream, a donut, and just take in that beauty. And although it was super busy this particular day, you can see the upper deck was quiet and inviting, a nice little respite from the hustle and bustle below. I will leave any information about Yates Family Orchard in the description box of this video, and I hope if you're local, you will go ahead and check them out.
Hey everyone, here we are in the kitchen. It's October and I really want to bake something pumpkin. And I have made pumpkin bread, I've made pumpkin chocolate chip cookies, I've done pumpkin coffee cake, and I found a recipe for pumpkin bars and I thought those sound really good. Also, the recipe I found for the pumpkin bars, and I found this on All Recipes, the tagline says, "Don't be shy with the spiced cream cheese frosting." They had me at cream cheese frosting, and don't worry, I will not be shy. I like a good cream cheese frosting to pumpkin bar ratio. So I have all my supplies out. The lighting here, it is another sunny, gorgeous day. So I'm at a funny angle, which I'm going to change around so that you can see. But let's get started making these bars. Here are the ingredients I have pulled out to make these pumpkin bars. I have never made these before, so I'm hoping for the best. And so it's your basic dry and wet ingredients. You have vegetable oil and eggs, vanilla, pumpkin puree. I'll put that over here. Make sure it's just the pumpkin puree and not the pumpkin pie filling with any kind of a sweetener. And then, of course, we'll have the two kinds of sugar, brown and white, flour, so baking soda, baking powder, pumpkin pie filling. I think that's it. And you're going to want a good baking spray. So I use this one. It has flour in it, so you really don't want these to stick. So anyway, pulling things together, and let's go ahead and make these bars. Preheat the oven to 350 degrees. Okay, to start with, I have the oven preheating at 350 degrees. I'm going to do a wet ingredient and a dry ingredient, and then I'm going to incorporate the two. So I'm going to start here with my wet ingredients. I need 1.5 cups of unsweetened pumpkin, just unsweetened pumpkin puree. So not pumpkin pie filling, pumpkin puree. This is probably going to be a can, but I wasn't sure. But yeah, I think we're going to go with a can. We're going to go with a can. And then you're going to add your, I think this is vegetable oil, 3/4 of a cup of vegetable oil. Add that in. 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar, packed. Make sure I have this right. Yes, 1/3 here. Oh, my brown sugar is getting a little bit hard. So we'll do 1, 2/3. And we're going to add 2/3 of a cup of white sugar. And I'm going to go ahead and put this in my mixer and add my eggs one at a time. Okay, so I'm just mixing the sugar and the oil and the pumpkin. And then to that, I'm going to add my 2 eggs. And 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And this is the homemade vanilla that my sister made, my sister Paula made. Here it is. And this was a Christmas gift from her last year, and it is the best vanilla. So I'm going to go ahead and add the vanilla and kind of combine that. And then I'm going to get working on the dry ingredients to incorporate into this. Okay, I'm just going to whisk together my dry ingredients. I have 1.5 cups all-purpose flour. I'm just going to whisk this. To that, I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. There are recipes online if you don't have pumpkin pie spice that you can make your own. It is a combination of like cinnamon and cloves and maybe ginger, I'm not sure, maybe some nutmeg, but I did happen to have pumpkin pie spice. So 2 teaspoons of that. Do a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm just gonna clean this out before I dip it into the baking powder. Okay, this is cleaned out. We're gonna do a teaspoon of baking powder. We're gonna do 3/4 teaspoon of baking soda. So this actually has a 3/4 teaspoon. This is a great set of measuring spoons. It was a gift from my mom, and I love the shape of them. They're sort of long and narrow, and they fit into containers, and now I have another reason to like them, to love them. They have a 3/4 teaspoon. A teaspoon of salt. And then I'm just going to whisk this together. And then I'm going to slowly add it into my wet ingredients. Kind of add it in. Okay, I'm going to spray my 13 by 9 pan, but truth be told, this is actually a 13 by 10 pan, so I'll probably bake it for a little bit less time, or at least keep an eye on it. I'm using the baking spray that has a little bit of flour in it for some added anti-stick protection. Now keep in mind, you should spray your pan just before you're putting batter in. If you spray it too far ahead, it all just kind of runs off the sides and down. Although I have to say this baking spray is a little bit thicker than your typical cooking oil spray. So this is all mixed together, and I'm just gonna fold this in. So these are gonna be thinner, which is fine. When we were little, I know that it probably isn't, it's probably frowned upon now, I'm sure it is, but we were, licking the bowl was like prime. I mean, that was the best part. You get to lick the beaters, lick the bowl. Well, I don't think there would be much licking in this because I'm really getting every last bit. And primarily that's because my pan is bigger than what is called for. So I'm being mindful of the fact that I have a little more real estate here. So I need every last bit of batter. And I'm just gonna smooth this out. And then I'm going to bake this off. It says 40 to 45 minutes. I'm definitely going to start checking it at about 35 minutes because I do have a little bit of a, like I said, a bigger pan. So I want to make sure that this doesn't burn. We want it to be obviously cooked through, but it is going to be a very moist. There's not a lot of flour in this. So it's going to have a very dense texture, and that's what you want. So this is going to go into the oven, 350 for, like I said, it's 40 to 45 minutes. I'm going to start checking at about 35. All right. The cake is in the oven, or the bars are in the oven. I'm going to clean this up and get ready for making the frosting, which I think is arguably, or is it arguably, definitely, in my opinion, the best part. So I'm going to clean all this up. I need to reuse some of my mixing bowl and so forth to make my cream cheese frosting. So let me do that, and we'll come right back here to make that frosting. let's make the best part, the frosting. So softened cream cheese and softened butter, a stick of butter, and an 8-ounce brick of cream cheese. They are going in. Okay, and to that I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract and a teaspoon of the pumpkin pie seasoning. I'm gonna let that go, and then to that I'm adding 5 cups of confectioner's sugar. When you add this, you wanna make sure your mixer is on low or it will be everywhere. Even with an apron, I will likely be covered. I'm just gonna scrape the sides down. I say there was 5 cups, so I'll add it, maybe 3 scoops here at a time. So I will be sure to link this recipe in the description box. Proper. Look at that. Look at that. All right, I'll grab my coffee and we'll go sit down. All right, everyone, I'm gonna give this a try. I just brewed a fresh cup of coffee, and here is this beautiful pumpkin bar. Now, as I said, the beauty of bars is you can pick them up with your hands and eat them. So I'm being very refined today with my plate and fork, but honestly, I can tell you these are super portable, nice and sturdy, and I can't wait to taste them. So here goes. Also, look at that ratio. If you're a cream cheese frosting lover like me, I think this is going to be perfect. My goodness. Oh, this is so, so, so good. This is 10 out of 10. Now, I love cream cheese frosting, and this is so good with that pumpkin seasoning in it. Now, we'll tell you this is super sweet, so be warned. That is just the way I like it. This is so good, and it is like fall in a bar. So I hope you'll try this. I'm going to link the full recipe in the description box. If you just go to the description of this video, you'll see a link for this recipe. I followed it exactly, with the exception of, actually, no, I did. I followed it exactly. I was going to bake it, I forgot to mention this. I was going to bake it a little bit less, for a little bit less time, because I had a bigger pan, and I completely forgot. So I did it for the full, I think it was 40 minutes or whatever the recipe called for. I did it for that exact time, and it is perfection. So I'm gonna continue to eat this, and I really, really hope you'll give this a try. All right, everyone, I want to thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope you enjoyed our little adventure. I hope you will try making these pumpkin spice bars with cream cheese frosting, because they are really, really good. Highly recommend. So if you haven't done so already, will you please subscribe to our channel? And if you enjoyed this video, it helps us out a lot if you can give this video a thumbs up. That lets us know and YouTube know that this is a video worth pushing out. And we are so close to our 10,000 subscriber mark. Maybe by the time this video comes out, we will have reached it. We are this close. So I want to thank each and every one of you who has subscribed to us, who has watched our videos, who has commented, who has given them thumbs up. We appreciate all of you. All right, everyone, I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.